Okay, the Norfolk Public School District's Board of Education meeting is called to order. We'll begin with roll call.
Terry Bauer is absent. She asked to be excused as she is at her daughter's wrestling meet. Cindy Booth.
Present.
Brenda Carhart.
Present.
Beth Shashikant.
Present.
Tom Stanton.
Present.
Sandy Wolf.
Present.
We do have a quorum. We have 5 members present.
Would somebody like to make a motion to excuse Terry?
I'll make a motion to excuse Terry.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Tom and a second by Brenda. Is there any discussion? Please vote.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you, Callan. This is a legal meeting of the Board of Education as advertised by the means specified in board policy. A complete copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the boardroom for your review. A copy of the agenda is available at the desk of the recording secretary. Please stand and join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Okay, this is the time during the meeting when the public may request to address the board. According to state law, if you wish to comment, you must identify yourself, including your address, the name of the organization you represent, and the topic that you wish to address. Public comment cards are located at the media table in the back of the room. Please pick up a card and provide the required information if you plan to speak. Each individual's comments will be limited to 3 minutes, and the total cumulative time for all public comments will be limited to 30 minutes. Please note that the board cannot discuss or act upon matters that are not listed on the agenda. Therefore, board members will not respond to your comments or questions. If you wish to request that an item be placed on a future board agenda, you may contact the superintendent or her assistant during normal business hours. Also note that concerns related to school personnel need to be addressed to the superintendent using the approved district protocol. Individuals who make false, defamatory, or slanderous statements during public comments may be held legally liable. Slanderous comments are not protected just because they are made at board meetings. Additional procedural guidelines are available at the media table. Would anybody like to come speak? Okay, we'll end the public comments. Reports and discussion items. 5.1, Finance and Facility Reports. Dr. Thompson.
Thank you. The total amount of claims to be approved on the consent agenda by specific fund are listed below. General Fund, $355,808.86. Nutrition Fund, $319,161.75. Cooperative Fund, $9,454.95. Subsidiary Fund, $35,605.38. Special Building Fund, $164,778.29. Senior High Activity Fund, $50,811.17. Junior High Activity Fund, $5,757.11. Athletic Field Fund, $120,550.05. Student Fee Fund, $7,905.76. All of these claims were reviewed earlier by the Finance and Facilities Committee, and I know that several questions were answered via email. I would be happy to try to answer any other questions you might have.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. That brings us to the consent agenda. The 6.1 is the minutes of the previous meeting from 12/9/24. The Board of Education meeting is attached. And then claims. Dr. Thompson?
Attached are the claims. The claims were reviewed by the Finance and Facilities Committee, and several questions were answered by email. I'd be happy to answer any other questions you may have. There are 2 conflict statements that will need to be read before voting as well.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Beth and a second by Brenda. Is there any discussion?
Out of an abundance of caution, I hereby declare a potential conflict of interest and am abstaining from voting on claim 345, 346, 416, 417 for the month of December in the consent agenda for this meeting. The first two claims are for the hotels for the State Education Conference, and the last two are for my attendance at the new board member meeting for NASB. I have signed and filled this written disclosure with the Secretary of the Board. It is my intent to vote on all other remaining items listed on the consent agenda. My vote on the remainder of the consent items should not be taken as a vote one way or the other on the items which I have identified or any of the matters set forth therein or related thereto.
Out of an abundance of caution, I hereby declare a potential conflict of interest and am abstaining from voting on claim 339 and 340 for the month of December in the consent agenda for this meeting. Again, expenses for the State School Board Convention in November. I have signed and filed this written disclosure with the Secretary of the Board. It is my intent to vote on all other remaining items listed on the consent agenda. My vote on the remainder of the consent items should not be taken as a vote one way or the other on the items which I have identified or any other matters set forth therein or related thereto.
Thank you. Vote.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you, Callan. Well, that is it. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education will be held on Monday, January 13th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. The second monthly meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for Friday, January 24th, 2025 at noon. This is a change from the typical meeting time. All components of these meetings will be held at the Norfolk Public Schools Central Administration Offices and will be open to the public unless an executive session is needed in order to protect the interest of the district or the reputation of an individual. With that, meeting adjourned.